village. Then after Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Mission, as we know that Swami Vivekananda known from his Ramakrishna Mission, he was the successor. So among the educated young men who were attracted so much with the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna Missions, as you know, he was solely for the society, Ramakrishna Missions, and with his intellectual power, okay, his thought. So Vivekananda is also Sri Ramakrishna was a young name called Narendra Nath, who later came to be known as Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda founded the Ramakrishna Missions. Swami Vivekananda founded these missions, which help in the reconstruction of society in many ways. So he started the missions for the society to reconstruct it. We need to reconstruct, which help in the society. The missions preaches, these missions, his Ramakrishna Missions preaches harmony, many what we call happiness, harmony in the society, all for the all religion also, and emancipations of women. He urged people to respect women while himself working for women education and upliftment. Upliftment means promoting this respect in the society. This type of things are promoting in the society. So Vivekananda, a disciple of his disciple, sister Nivedita, she was a disciple of Vivekananda, was an Anglo-Irish social worker. She worked hard for upliftment, supporting for women in India. Sister Nivedita, so much hard work and also devoted for the women in India. So much hard work she did. Sister Nivedita opened a girl school also in Bagh Bazaar in Calcutta. She laid much emphasis on social service and respect for women in the society. A champion of humanism, she fought for the empowerment of women. Empowerment means to supporting the women in the society for all castes. It may be lower, higher, middle classes, and creeds, and it may be in any backgrounds of the society. Then after Kesav Chandra Sen, 1838 to 1884, Kesav Chandra Sen laid stress on social reforms. Kesav Chandra Sen, he took so much stress over this situation that were prevailing in the society for the women, such as female education. He brought out intercaste remarriage and widow remarriage. He totally condemned social evils like child marriage, polygamy system in the society, and casteism also. He very strongly criticized child marriage and played an important role in passing the marriage bill in 1872. He also passed a bill 1872 about child marriage, and he worked tirelessly for the emancipation of Indian women. He so much did his devoted for the women in the society, to give them supporting like that. So through this Brahma Bandhu Sabha, he launched a fierce struggle in favor of women education. He was instrumental in passing the Native Marriage Bill 1872. He also passed a Native Marriage Bill in 1872, which was legalized intercaste marriage. So it was legalized. Widow remarriage, prohibited child marriage and polygamy, and gave a legal sanction to divorce. And he also gave legal things. If you want to divorce, it should be legal. So education and emancipation of women was at the forefront of his program. On his death, Max Muller said India has lost her most eminent son. At the death of his, Max Muller described about him, he said a quote line for him: India has lost her most eminent person. eminent son. Eminent means most important person in the society at his death. So at the Maharashtra, Swami Dayanand Saraswati and the Arya Samaj means Swami Dayanand Saraswati, he brought the Arya Samaj. What is the Arya Samaj? That we will learn. Swami Dayanand Saraswati was the founder of Arya Samaj. When he was 22 of his age, he became a sannyasi. Okay, sannyasi means completely living the comfortable of life, living the life son everyone in the household or society, and started roaming from place to place in searching of truth. What is the truth of the society in our world? In search of truth, he went outside, roamed everywhere. So following reforms took place in the society due to the efforts of Arya Samaj, and Arya Samaj bring many reforms in the society. Like Arya Samaj denounced Sati also. Here it resulted in the decline of Sati. It advocated widow remarriage and widow ashrams also. The Arya Samaj also set up orphanage and widow ashrams. Orphanage, do you know orphanage means where those whose parents has died, and for them ashrams were made for not only for children but also not only for women but also for children, those who are orphan children. So Arya Samaj had great emphasis on women's education. Swami Dayanand believed that women were thus much entitled to study Vedas as men. Also, they can learn Vedas as men. After that, Parthana Samaj. The Parthana Samaj was started in Bombay in 1867. The chief architects of the Samaj were Mahadev Govind Ranade and Ramakrishna Bhandarkar. The Samaj laid stress on the upliftment, supporting of the masses educations for females, abolition of Parda system, and remarriage of widows. It started night school also for working people. Those who are working people at day hours, they can attend night class. Gopal Krishna Gokhale joined this Samaj in 1885. He and Ranade founded the Indian Socials Conference in 1887. So in 1887 there were made a conference. In that conference they declared that no progress was possible in India unless Hindu and Muslim join hand in hands. So here one concept is bringing here that majority means we need hand in hands to eradicate any problems in the society. So then after, Gopal Hari Deshmukh, Lakhit Wadi and Jyoti Rao, Govind Rao Phule, they were work for the upliftment. Again, they were also supporting for the society. These were the reformers of the downtrodden who were in the Dalit and women also. In 1848, they started schools for girls and low caste children. So in 1848, they started for a school for girls and low caste children. So then after, other reformers. Who were the other reformers who were also beside they are leading a role in the society? They were Rokhaya Sakhawat Hussain, 1880 to 1932. Rokhaya Sakhawat Hussain was born in 1880 and in Bengali Muslim family. He was not allowed to study, but fortunately, luckily, she was able to persuade, means to make understand someone, her brother, to teach her Bengali and English language along Urdu and Arabic at home. In 1896, what happened? She married to a magistrate called Khan Bahadur Sakhawat Hussain. He married from Bhagalpur in Bihar. Rokhaya set up a school also for girls in 1909 in Bhagalpur. with a material intellectual support of her husband. So her husband supported her to open schools for the children and women. After her husband death, premature death, she came to Calcutta and opened a school, Sakhawat Memorial Girls School, in the name of Sakhawat Memorial Girls School name. He opened a school. In the time, this school was converted into high school and become known for pioneering institution for Muslim girls. Ruqayya was gifted a writer, means he is born as a writer, gifted as a writer. Throughout her life, she wrote passionately about the oppression, how someone oppressed in the society, like the men were dominating in the society. They were, so men are called oppressor in the society. Oppressions, discriminations, suffering and obstacles to development faced by the women. How women were facing in the society from these discriminations and many social evils in the society, and oppressed by the men. Okay, suffered many, and how they suffered obstacles also they faced. Ruqayya wrote about this. She pleaded for the emancipation of women for all communities also. She wrote a number of stories and essays reading the prevailing social taboos also. In her column, in Abrot Basini strongly criticized the Purdah system. In 1924, first sight, means the sight, novel name Padmarag was published. In this work, we find some realistic work, portraits of pioneering working women were portraits in this picture, and typing and managing accounts work, supervising subordinates, equality, okay, of work, and teaching. In short, full gamut of activities that women executives, teachers, managers undertaken today. So this type of activities has shown in the written form by Ruqayya, in picture form also, portraits of this women in the society. However, after facing these things, how they change in the society. In 1924, okay, that we have completed. Then after Leela Nag, 1900 to 19, so then after Leela Nag, 1900 to 1970, Leela contributed immensely to the intellectual and cultural awakening in India. Those who are intellectual, means talented, who are came out in India, and cultural awakening, our developing in the field of culture, how in India, and he so much contributed in this field. So the first female student at the University of Dhaka, she pioneered women education and women's movement in East Bengal. In December 1923, he established Dipali Sangha, an association for women with a main objective of enhancing women's educations. She founded a school named Dipali School and 12 other free primary schools with the help of Dipali Sangha. She also built Dhaka-based institutions for female students and extended its branches in many places of Assam and Bengal. For the benefit of female students, she established women hostel also at Calcutta. So Leela Nag set up a fund entitled Mahila Amrit Raksha Fund, and this was fund for women's self-defense fund, one of the first martial arts self-defense group in the region. She also established an institution known as Gana Sikha Parishad. It was an association for mass education. It was an association for mass education. For spreading female education at mass level, Leela other claim to female for fame. Leela Leela's other claim to fame is her literary activity as editor of the influential magazine named Jayashree, devoted to women's issues. So in her magazine, Jayashree name, in the name of Jayashree magazine title, how he contributed, how much he devoted herself in literary activities, its fame is written there. All the devoted things are mentioned in this magazine. After that, Pandita Ramabai. So his age was 1858 to 1922. So during the 19th century, the condition of women was much discussed issuing among the intellectual class, that we have seen, that was prevailing so much. Conditioned women was much discussed among the intellectual class. So it was in the fluid situation. So it was in a fluid situation that Pandita Ramabai emerged at once at the scene with her electrifying energy directed towards recording better deal for the women of India. So he brought out such electrical energy in the society and dealing better in women in India, Pandita Ramabai. Then after Pandita Ramabai started Arya Mahila Samaj and taught women from the deprived class, who are deprived class means some other backward like that, deprived class. She went to America. Then after, when her association was formed to fund for school for so child widows coming back to India, then after coming back to India, and she inaugurated a school for widows in 1889, and it was known as Sarda Shadan in Bombay. Like that, Pandita Ramabai has started an association. Then after Dondo Keshav Karva, the year 1896 marked the beginning of an era of history on human education in India, when Dr. Dondo Keshav Karve established an ashram for widows and helpless women at the hygiene near Pune. Karve launched a program named for schooling at the ashram also, which later became the regular school for the school and women. He had dreamed for establishing women university, and finally in July 1916 he started a first college in 5 students. So he Karve wanted to launch a school. Then after also what he thought about to launch a university, he also established in 1916. He started the first college with 5 students. It gradually took shape as a women university. So in 1920 he started a Srimati Nitibai Thakre Women's University, and it was popularly known as today SNDT Women's University, the full form of Srimati Natibai Thakre Women's University, in short form SNDT Women's University. So then after reforms movement in South India, what were the reforms take place in the South India? Veda Samaj has came to in South India. Inspired by the Brahmo Samaj, Chembeti Sridharalu Naidu founded the Veda Samaj in 1864. This Samaj advocated abolitions of caste distinction. It promoted widow remarriage and women's education again, and propagated the oneness of gods. Also, she described, and asked the people to discard the superstitions and ritual activity, orthodox Hinduism. It should be discarded, abolished in the society, superstitious type of activity. Naidu translated Brahmo Samaj text to Tamil and Telugu. The Veda Samaj later worked with branches of Brahmo Samaj and Parthana Samaj in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. This were later each branch has created in these areas. So Kandukudi, Virasalingam and Sri Narayan Guru, in addition to C.S. Naidu, Mahatma and Mahatma Jyotiba, other social reformers worked for the upliftment of for women. That we have seen many were come out during this uh, period. Uplifting means supporting in India. And one such reformers was Kandukudi Virasalingam, who was inspired and influenced by Brahmo Samaj. He was born in 1848, an Orthodox family, but all through his life he opposed the caste system and low status of women. Similarly, Sri Narayana Guru of Kerala took up the cause of untouchables and worked for the upliftment, supporting like that. And since untouchable were not allowed to enter in the temple also, he built a temple near a river that displayed the words like, "Here is the place where all people live in fraternity without caste, distinction and religion rivalry." Means that he has seen that temple's problems were came out, so he built a temple near the river and displayed the words. So after the reforms movement in South India, then after Christian missionaries. So in its early non-political phase, the East India Company refrained from interfering in the socio-religious life of the people of India. The company has expelled William Carey for carrying on propaganda. But by the Charter Act 1813, restriction on the immigration of missionaries to India were removed. As a result of these missionaries began pouring into India, filled with a zeal to right Indian society of what they regarded as a backwardness of barbarism. And then after Christian missionaries first came to Bengal in 1576, thereafter they came to India in different phases with different motives. The Sirampur missionaries played a crucial role, important role in the spread of education among women in India. So prominent among them were William Carey, Joshua Marsman and William Ward. They started the first Baptist mission in 1800 at Sirampur in Bengal. For the emancipation of Indian women, William Ward made an appeal to his countrywomen, and responding to his call, a woman missionary named Mary Ann Coke came to India. She was the first woman missionary to come to India in 1822. She opened many girls' schools in different parts of the Bengal. In 1849, G.E.D. Bethune founded a girls' school in Calcutta also. So what were the impact of these reformers in the society? So compelled to react to the powerful movements driven by liberal supporting and humanitarian ideas, the East Indian Company initiated some useful social reforms in India during the period of 1813 to 1857, including, so number one, some suppressions of Sati. What were the suppression? How it suppressed? So suppression of sati, it estimated that during the period of 1815 to 1818, there were 800 cases such of satis in Bengal alone were suppressed. And ban of female infanticides. How many? Ban means the stop on female infanticide. This practice was banned in 1795, but no strict measures were taken to implement the law. This evil was boldly addressed during the administration of Lord Harding in the year of 1844 to 48. In meantime, female infanticide declined, but sadly, it is still prevalent today. Suppression of human sacrifice. Lord Harding suppressed the practice of human sacrifice that had prevailed among primitive tribes such as the Gonds. However, it took a long time to eradicate widow remarriage. Rajaram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Mahadev Phule and Maharishi Karve campaigned in favor of widow remarriage for a long time. Finally, in 1856, what happened? The colonial government passed an act allowing Hindu widows to remarry. Through the immediate effect on this measure was negligible. It has gained momentum over time and is socially quite acceptable today. These reforms rejuvenated India society and gave it the resilience and strength in need cope with the trials and tribulations they laid ahead. So we have seen in this chapter how women and reforms brought out, how the women were at the age of starting, how many evils, social evils were performing in the society by the men, and many dominating type of societies were there. At the time goes, many changes has came, like reform system movement were came out by the many leaders, no, many reformers were came out in the society. During British time also some changes has taken places, and it was some beneficials for the women also. Position of women in the 19th century, we have seen what were the position of the women in the 19th century, how it was solved, how what was the solutions they have taken to eradicate social evils from the society. Okay, we have also seen what are the many types of social evils where they are purdah system. Okay, sati, child marriage, widow remarriage, age of consent. Okay, at the last they have taken some agreement for them. It should be abolished, it should not be practiced. Okay, then after we have also seen how many reformers come forward from that age, intellectuals were there, how they have taken their own actions, own interested, they have shown. Okay, and likewise we have mostly covered this, and also there were other reformers, and from those who are female reformers we have seen Rokhaya, Sekawat Hussain, Leela Nag, Pandita Ramabai also, and like that. And reforms movement in South India also have some where, and Christian missionaries, how they came out. Okay, and what were the impacts of this social evils, movements and reforms in the society we have seen. So thank you for this class, or please do not feel so many that if you feel somewhere mistakes from my side, excuse me. This is my first video class that I am performing here, making video for you. It was urgent, so that's why as much as possible I am trying to give my better thing, some better explanation. I will also give you some what it calls some word meaning of this paragraph. If you find any mistakes, you can contact me. Okay, also, and need more explanation about this matter, but it was my first video, that's why I got less time in that I have to complete. So that's why as much as possible I have done this. So thank you so much for supporting me and listen this video, repeating some lines, then you will understand better. So cooperate. Okay, thank you so much.